Hello everybody, and welcome to Greg's Vintage Workshop, where I'm working to restore history one piece at a time. Today we're going to be taking a look at not a radio, but a vintage piece of test equipment. It's not something that I will be using in my shop because it's way too sophisticated for me. It's a sweep generator. Specifically, it's a Precision Apparatus E-400 sweep generator. So we're going to take a look at it, we're going to take it apart, we're going to recap it. I'm going to do as little as possible to it. I'll test the tubes. We'll see if we get this old girl working. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, we'll start by taking these little chicken feet knobs off, which are in actually pretty good shape. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, so it looks like the power cord's going into this box here. It's probably got safety caps in there. I need to get this cord off. It's going to the fuse out front. But let me get that loose so I can move the cabinet out of the way and we can take a closer look at this thing. Okay, I just pulled 3 screws out of this cover. We'll pull this off and see what we got underneath it. There's some corrosion in there, that's for sure. We'll have to get cleaned out. Looks like it's supposed to be some sort of a copper coated steel, probably for RF purposes. So looks like we have a 6C4 tube there. If you guys are seeing this or not. A 6J6 tube there, 6C4. Looks like a 6I6, a 6C4, and a 6I or J6, not sure. I still got to get me a schematic for this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tubes. Okay, so that's a quick look. I'm not going to be doing much except testing the tubes in this thing, cleaning up the potentiometers, and changing one electrolytic. Because I got a feeling most of this stuff is all calibrated. But there is electrolytic right here that we'll wind up changing. And then once I get that changed, I think we'll plug it in and see what we got. So I was looking closer at this Precision Apparatus E-400 sweep generator. And it appears that this thing has been worked on before, and it may be in pretty good shape. What I've noticed is all of the paper caps that would normally be in here, after looking at some other videos, I've seen other folks having to replace paper caps, have already been replaced. For example, this one right here, this is a big old orange drop cap in here. Now, I don't have the schematic down here with me yet, but I'm going to be getting it. I ordered a manual online, so I'll have a manual for it. But this is not a paper cap. This is not a paper cap. This is actually an atom Sprague, or Sprague atom, however you want to say it. I don't know if those are any good or not. I don't know anything about the Sprague atoms, but it's a 0.1 microfarad at 600 volts. I checked it, and it came out at 0.114 microfarad. So, I mean, it's like right on the money, so I can't see any sense changing it. Obviously, it's probably not the original, so I'm not sure. Then, move this over a little bit, get you in the screen again. You can see this little cap right here. This is typically a paper cap, and this is one of the little glassy ceramic caps, which don't go bad. So that's apparently been changed out, and I shouldn't have to mess with that. This power resistor, no, you can't see it. Get you up a little bit more. I'll get it, drag it closer so you can see it. There you go. This power resistor is typically more like this one. This is like one of the cement type. It's a 10 watt, 1500 ohm power resistor in there. And the other thing I noticed about this, compared with other ones that I've seen on YouTube, is this one actually has what appears to be a actual speaker in it for the sweep portion. The ones that I've seen on YouTube have had a device that mimics a speaker. This one looks like a literal speaker, and it looks factory to me. It's well installed. I mean, if I'll get you a different angle here, you can see here, this is like a thick plexiglass plate that's underneath, covers completely underneath it, and it's got springs between it and the plate. Really well done, so I have to assume that that's got to be original. I'm not sure what year this thing is for sure, but got a lot of signatures and check on it. You can see the initials there. Come over here, initials there, initials here. So a lot of quality checks apparently on this device at some point. I don't know if it's when it was built. I don't know if it was when somebody did some tune-up to it or what. So right now, I'm probably going to change these two little capacitors in here with safety Y capacitors, and probably try and power this thing up. I might go ahead and check the tubes first, but I don't think I'm going to do very much to this. Now, the electrolytic that's in here, right here, the electrolytic here, I think it's original. I'm not sure. I'm thinking maybe I should take it out and test it and see how it breaks down under voltage. And I may replace that. But other than that, I think it's a good cleanup on this one. I might change those Amphenol connectors in the front to B and C. But other than that, I don't think it's going to take much on this particular project, which is a good thing. Some cleanup on the outside and inside. There's some corrosion inside the case. Over there you can see like rust in the edges of this cabinet, but I think that'll all clean out fine. I mean, over here it's not that bad. A little bit you can see going up. I'll clean all that out, but the rest of it looks pretty good. I don't see any much thing going on much with it here, so I just thought I'd show you that. I'll bring it back after I change out those safety caps. So I got the two capacitors that were in this power choke, this RF choke for the power supply. Got those changed out with Y safety caps. So that's good to go. I got me a new line cord here that is polarized, and we'll be putting that in, but I'm not going to put that in until I'm ready to feed it through the actual cabinet, which I still have to clean and paint the cabinet. So I think what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to go ahead and pull that electrolytic out and probably restuff it. Okay, I got this capacitor out, electrolytic. It's basically 3/16 at 350 volts. So let's just check it and see what it checks out at. It grounds to the case, so I'm going to be off here on the side. We'll see what we get. There's the first section. It's reading about 28 microfarads, so that's high. Go to this section here. And it's reading 119, 90, 80, somewhere in there. And last section here. 42, 40, somewhere in there. So yeah, so they're all high. I'll go ahead and probably have to order some for it because I want to restuff this can. I want to keep it compact and as close to being original as possible, so I'm going to try and restuff this can. I'll have to order them off of DigiKey to get some skinny tall ones or something. Okay, so where we're at right now, I figured I'd show you where I'm at right at the moment. So I took the outer case upstairs, put it in the wife's kitchen sink and washed it down with soap and water inside and out. I sprayed the inside with some T9 Bow Shield right here, and then I took it outside and I repainted it, and it looks pretty darn good, I think. And then I put some tung oil on that handle, and it actually turned out pretty good, and then I shot clear coat on the actual handle hinges there. And the feet were all nice. All I did was just clean the feet up, and I'll be screwing those back on. Now the inner copper coated shielding for inside had some rust along the inner edges, so I've got it soaking in a tub of Evaporust. Let's see, Evaporust. We'll see how that does. I haven't used it before, so we'll see how that comes out. Also the tubes, I tested all of the tubes, and all 8 tubes, believe it or not, tested very, very good. Anyhow, I just show you where we're at. Next up, I think I'm going to put the feet back on the cabinet, the handle back on the cabinet, and start cleaning up the faceplate. I ordered 3 18 microfarad capacitors from DigiKey to restuff the electrolytic with. I've done cut it open, done gutted it out, and already 3D printed a housing to put the 3 new caps in. I'll show you that. Okay, so this is the electrolytic can. It originally had 3 16 microfarad at 350 volt cap in it. I gutted all that out, and I made a 3D printed an insert that'll hold my 3 new caps once they get here. I had a 16, not a 16, but a 15 that I used for size. They're basically 10 millimeters in diameter by 30 millimeters long. So this is made to do that. Don't go all the way to the bottom, but it should hold those pretty nice. And that's the top. I've pre-drilled it for my grounds to come out. The original cap was grounded to the chassis, and I'm going to continue to ground it to the chassis, but it'll be the actual leads for the negative leads, which will come through that little hole right there that I drilled through there, if you guys can see that. And then the actual positive leads will come up through little holes that I drilled alongside these, and we'll solder all that together, and then that'll get epoxied onto that like that, and it'll look just like it did. So just waiting on those caps to come in, and we'll get this thing together and see what it does. Oh, if I haven't mentioned yet, I'm also going to put B and C connectors on the front versus the amphenols that are on there. Okay, so I got the handle back on. I got the plate in the back all cleaned up and put back on there. I got the feet back on. And as you can see, the handle turned out great. But when I started putting the feet on the bottom, As you can see, I got 2 of them on and I had to stop. Why did I stop? Because the rubber is obviously brittle, and I was putting the last foot on and it broke in half. And this is hard as a rock, by the way. I went on to Amazon and I ordered some new feet. Came in a set of 20. I think they're going to be, from the measurements that I took on this, they should be identical to these old ones, only fresh rubber, and actually have a steel washer in them. So I will swap all of the feet to the new feet once they come in. Right now, what I'm getting ready to do is pull the copper coated cover out of the evaporust, and I'll take it up in the sink and rinse it off, and we'll see what that looks like. So how did the evaporust work, you ask? It worked really well. It looks really good. Problem is, because I could only go about 1.5 inches, 2 inches deep in my container, it didn't clean evenly. So now I've got a two-tone. All the way around I got a two-tone. I'll flash rush this since I just cleaned it upstairs in my sink. So I guess what I'm going to do, oh, and here's the inside. I think what I'm going to do is to soak each side. Now, when I soak each side, it'll be interesting to see if now I wind up with an uneven, really uneven pattern. I don't know. But I think I'll try soaking each side and see what we get. Let's see. I'll bring you back. Okay, we're going to try and get this faceplate apart. I was originally going to try and take it off, but I think it's going to be, since everything fastens to it, I'm not real thrilled with trying to take it off. But I might wind up taking it off, but for now, I think what I'm going to do is see if I get the dial wheel off, that I can get everything cleaned up without taking it off. Because this needs to come off to get cleaned up too. You can see all the stain, and it's in really crappy looking shape. Same as you can see the dirt all over that. So I think what I'm going to do, I've got this, I got the video all closed down right now, and with it closed down it's on 0, so I know where to put that back. So I'm going to start by taking the dial pointer off. It looks like it just screws in there with these long screws and little spacers. I'll take both of those off. Keep all this together here. I get all that cleaned up. Don't want to lose my spacers. There's a little spacer, a bar, and then the bigger spacer. So I want to keep those all in the same container. I'm going to set it off here to the side right at the moment. And then we got a little screw here, holds the dial wheel on, and luckily it looks like it's going to come off halfway easy. Boy, look at what the inside of that looks like versus the outside. So we'll keep those together. And then, not sure how easily this is going to come off. Let me take a look at this and I'll bring you back. Okay, so I got it off. Basically what it was there was 2 Allen screws on the back side that you get from inside there. They were actually not very tight. They're not easy to get to, but I got it off now, and of course that pulled off with it, and it almost looks like it should have had an E-clip on it, but it didn't. So I may have put an E-clip back in there. Okay, so let me start getting this stuff cleaned up and we'll see what we get. I got to be careful with this because I don't want to get my numbers and stuff off of it. So I'll start off with a damp cloth and work from there and see what we get.